And we are still walking in the same direction.
Not awkward at all.
No, awkward? Could not be us.
Ricky and Gina look for a ghost and Jet Maddox butt heads. Let's find out just what happened in episode 3 of season 3 of High School Musical, the series. What's up, you lovely Wildcats? Lisa here with this week's HSMTMTS recap. Now, it wouldn't be a camp show without a scary ghost story episode, right? Okay, maybe this one is not so scary, but still, it's a fun one. This episode is titled The Woman in the Woods, and we find EJ overwhelmed with his director duties, Ricky and Gina's friendship growing, Ashlyn discovering herself, and, well, the relationship with Jet and Maddox is revealed. Now, I have an interview that's coming on my channel with Sailor Bell and Adrian Lyles all about that reveal, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Also, once again, just gotta say, Carlos and Courtney stealing the show with their quips because these two are not made for the outdoors, so putting them outdoors is hilarious.
Carlos, I can't be the first to die! I'm too smart and hot for that.
And I gotta say, Julia Lester's song as Ashlyn in this episode is called Rising, and it is just so good. Like, there is a reason that she is currently on Broadway in Into the Woods, and did you even notice the Into the Woods banner hanging in the barn as she sang? It's kind of like it was destiny or fate or whatever it's called that she would be on Broadway in that show. But anyway, let's just dive right into this week's episode. So, this episode all takes place at Camp Shallow Lake, so we're gonna have to catch up with Nini's whole storyline a little bit later in this season. The cast list is finally up for Frozen, and if you remember last episode, it ended with Carlos sneaking into the office to change up this cast list. We see that Gina wakes up Courtney in true Frozen style by singing Do You Want to Build a Snowman, as it's revealed that Gina will be Anna and Courtney will be Elsa, and I do love this so much, I cannot wait to hear Courtney sing Let It Go. We also see the rest of the casting as well. We have Ricky as Kristoff, Jet as Hans, EJ as Sven, Carlos as Olaf, and we have Emmy and Alex as young Anna and young Elsa, and we learn that Ashlyn is part of the ensemble. Now, when Carlos runs up and sees this cast list, we see that he is upset that he is playing yet another kind of inanimate object, so we know that this is not his revised list. I kind of would have loved to see what he cast himself as. Anyway, so we see some people are happy by Val's casting and some aren't. Ashlyn thinks she's going to get the lead, but when she sees that she's in the ensemble, she tries to play it off like she's okay, though we later see that she isn't. Now, it's kind of tough because Frozen really does only have two main female parts. EJ is also very surprised when he's in the show because he's just supposed to be directing. Now he's already overwhelmed and he's going to be even more overwhelmed. But to calm everyone down, Maddox announces it's newbie initiation night. Everyone will be out camping in the woods and she is super pumped. Now this is her favorite night of camp and you see how enthusiastic she is and kind of how sad she is when no one else seems to be that into it. Now throughout the episode we see Maddox and Ashlyn kind of butt heads again, as well as her and Jet. So first, let's talk about Maddox and Ashlyn's journey. We learned last episode that basically Maddox doesn't have an easy time making friends. Her core group of camp friends have moved on. So when she sees that Ashlyn's kind of like angrily writing in her journal and ripping out pages for not getting the lead, trying to reframe the story as positive, Maddox just kind of innocently asks if Ashlyn is a Leo rising, and we see Ashlyn immediately kind of get defensive, being like, no, I'm Capricorn rising, I know myself, all of this. Even though Maddox is just kind of like, it's cool, I just thought I sensed some fire sign in you, like no harm done, but Ashlyn really is like getting worked up. We then see Ashlyn kind of tell Gina that she loves all women, she's a feminist, but she thinks something's wrong with Val, mainly because she didn't get cast as a lead, and with Maddox, mainly because things just aren't going the way that Ashlyn wanted with either of these two people, it seems like. Then we kind of hear Gina say this to Ashlyn.
I guess I just didn't think you'd be this thrown off by it. Tough love sister time here. It feels out of character, Ash.
This, of course, causes Ashlyn to look up what Leo rising is and, well, whoop.
Leo rising, what Maddox thinks I am, likes to be the center of attention and get praise, loves the admiration of others, recognition gives them a boost. This is a spooky night indeed.
Then Maddox later apologizes to Ashlyn, and it's still very awkward.
Sorry if I overstepped with the whole Leo rising thing. I just picked up a vibe. Oh, all good. You're wrong, but all good.
And then Ashlyn again gets defensive when she's asked about her birth time because she thinks she knows everything about herself. There's nothing more to learn. Well, we see Ashlyn eventually ask a frustrated EJ when she was born, and she finds out that she was born in the morning time, and now she's just kind of like, who am I? Now, I should say that during this whole newbie initiation night, we have EJ singing about and Maddox telling the ghost story of Susie Fine, aka the woman in the woods. You can hear sometimes whistling and stuff, and this puts everyone on alert. So Ashlyn's kind of wandering in the woods, and she ends up hearing a noise and getting scared, and that makes her run into the barn, where, of course, there's just a perfectly lit up piano in the middle of the room, and there's nothing else for her to do but to sing a song, and it is this beautiful song that is called Rising. I highly recommend you go listen to it. It is so good, and fun fact here, it's co-written by Cozy Zulsdorf. I don't know how to say her last name, but she was the star of the Disney Channel original movie Freaky Friday. Now, when Gina and Ricky find Ashlyn thinking they found this woman in the woods because they've heard her singing and they don't know who it is, they have a laugh and a talk, and Ashlyn kind of comes to the realization that she wanted someone to blame her casting on, something that was out of her control, trying to help ease this disappointment because she thought that this whole thing with the Disney Plus doc and all could be her big break. But now she's kind of comes to terms with everything and thinks that this could be Gina's big break, and she even acknowledges that she's a Leo rising. And I will talk more about Ashlyn and Maddox a little later with my theories about what's going on there. But back to Maddox. Ashlyn is not the only one Maddox is butting heads with. So when Maddox is telling her ghost story, it's going good until none other than Jet starts to laugh and kind of butt in with these little quips that makes the other campers laugh, and they're not so scared of Maddox's story. Now this frustrates Maddox, and we eventually see her run off upset. Well, we end up learning that Jet and Maddox are in fact brother and sister. Now camp is Maddox's thing, it's her whole world. But now that Jet is there, Maddox has been told to look after him by their parents, and she's just kind of upset that he's ruining the one thing she had for herself. Well, why is that? As for Jet, we see earlier in the episode that he and Ricky have kind of this growing friendship. Jet's starting to open up to Ricky, and basically, he reveals that he taught himself to sing and play the piano from YouTube because his parents worked a lot. Jet ended up getting so good that he eventually got a music teacher, and unfortunately, this music teacher pushed Jet so hard that he kind of fell out of love with singing. His grades tanked, everything like that, and he was kind of, I guess, in a way, labeled a problem child by his family. We also learned that Jet and Maddox's parents, like I said, seem to work a lot, so there's a lot of problems at home. It seems like maybe Jet was the golden child and Maddox was kind of the one that was in the shadows, but I don't really know. I'm excited to kind of learn more about their history and see more of their dynamic. But let's move to Ricky, Gina, and EJ and this triangle that we'll forever have, I feel like. So EJ's very overwhelmed with the fact that Corbin Bleu is coming back the next day with his cameras for this read-through of Frozen, and EJ has to spend the time going over the script, so this newbie initiation night does not really fall at a good time for him, but he's going to do his best to be there. But we definitely kind of see him losing focus.
I believe Anna has a bigger arc and is more challenging to play, but in like a good way. EJ?
Sorry, I'm listening.
Now when EJ is working on the script, Ricky kind of busts into the tent, being like, let's go look for this woman in the woods, because he found the shrine that Maddox had made last episode. Then Gina comes in being like, oh wait, what did I hear? We're going on an adventure, and it's like, let's go. But EJ is like, I can't, and he sort of snaps at them. So whatever happens next is a little bit his doing.
No, I can't come see the shrine tonight. I have to finish marking up this script before Corbin comes tomorrow. I have a lot on my plate. Okay, and Gina, I
Gotta
really...
focus. I get it. Come on, guys.
So this means we have Ricky and Gina going off into the woods by themselves in search of the woman in the woods. They're definitely having fun, and I like to see them having this friendship, although I know there's moments where I'm like, are they flirting? I kind of ship this, but I kind of also ship EJ and Gina, so I'm torn about which couple I kind of like better. But as a friendship, I am liking Gina and Ricky, but there's these little moments.
Check this out. Hearts racing.
Chicken?
I just like that they can make fun of each other. They're having a good time. And in their adventure, they end up finding Ashlyn in the barn. And after that, they kind of head off back to their tents, but not before Ricky tells Gina that he's proud of her and that they've had fun together. But you know what this does? It just adds to EJ's stress when he's in the tent working on the script with Carlos, and then Courtney pops in. We learn that Corbin is now coming even earlier in the day for this table read, so EJ is in extreme panic mode, but that's not what gets EJ to slam his script closed.
Oh, Ricky and Gina are 100% missing.
What? Carlos is right. I'm sure Ricky and Gina are fine.
Oh, Carlos, you probably shouldn't have said that here, but we know we need the drama, so he said it, and we are setting up for this little jealousy thing. Okay, so this was a fun episode, and I loved the camp feels, and it definitely had that camp rock vibe, which makes sense because it is Disney, plus we're having camp rock songs in this season. Now, when Gina and Ricky hear someone singing in the barn, it definitely reminded me of Shane Gray overhearing Mitchie sing for the first time. And then the way that the EJ and Gina relationship is going, it definitely reminds me of Camp Rock 2. We have one being there having fun at camp, just wanting to be with the other person, and the other one is so overwhelmed with their responsibilities. It's just screaming Mitchie and Shane Camp Rock 2. Now, people have been trying to guess what duet EJ and Gina will have this season, which we know will be a cover. I have an interview with Matt Cornett on my channel about that. Now, some think it's got to be like a High School Musical song, maybe it's got to go My Own Way or something like that, but I've been saying from the beginning, since they announced Camp Rock songs were going to be in here, that I needed some couple on this show, or any two people to sing Wouldn't Change a Thing. And the way that this storyline is going with EJ and Gina, I feel like those two are going to sing that song, and I really hope they do. As far as the casting for Frozen, I think this is great. You know that it will cause drama, and we need the drama on the show. We have Ricky and Gina as Kristoff and Anna. Those are love interests. Then we have EJ as Sven, who is supposed to be Kristoff's best friend or best animal friend because he's a reindeer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I'm just guessing that EJ is going to have to step back at some point, and Miss Jen will come in to kind of either save the day or help mentor him. Also, I've seen people thinking that there could be something with Ricky and Jet. I think some are leaning towards a romantic thing, others aren't. I honestly just feel like this is more of a friend-mentor relationship. I think Jet has a bad, past with a music teacher. Maybe Ricky can help him learn that music is fun again. I think that that's where that's going. As far as Ashlyn and Maddox, I do think something is here with the two of them. I don't know if it's a romantic or not because we know Ashlyn is with Big Red, but I think Maddox is definitely going to help Ashlyn discover more of herself. Even though it hasn't been said in the show yet, we know from the trailer with the appearance of JoJo Siwa and the scenes that they show, it seems that Maddox is part of the LGBTQ+ community. Could Ashlyn be discovering that she could be too in some way? We know that the actress themselves, Julia Lester, is, so I don't know. I think I could see this, art imitating, or life imitating art, art imitating life. That's what I meant to say. But that's just a theory. As far as the Jet storyline, this is so true. You see so many people, whether it's the arts or the athletics or something else, where somebody loves something so much, but the pressure, because they are just naturally so good at something, gets pushed so far that they lose the love, and it becomes more of a hindrance or something they learn to hate than something that they're good at that they just love. I mean, I kind of found that with YouTube. I was making so many videos and watching TV shows and thinking that I had to watch a show and immediately talk about it, that I kind of lost the love of wanting to talk about TV shows. There's still shows that I haven't watched that I know I should, like The Summer I Turned Pretty, because in my brain I feel like I need to make a video after this, which kind of takes away some of the enjoyment and makes it feel like work. So I, in a weird way, relate to what Jet's going through, but I hope that we see him learn that there is a way to have fun with music and he gets his passion back. But yeah, I think those are the main events of this third episode of Season 3 of High School Musical, the series. We got a fun camp song, a ghost story, and some great music, and some good character development. So yeah, this was actually the last episode I got to see early, so now I really have no idea what is coming the rest of the season, and that makes me excited because I'm watching along with you guys. No idea where it's going to go or what the music's going to sound like or any of that, so I'm excited. But I have to know, what did you think of this episode? What did you think of those big reveals? And what about that Frozen casting? Would you have switched any of it around? What would you have done? Let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and be sure to check out my interviews with the cast and more videos right over here because I always have stuff popping up. As always, my name is Lisa. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I'll see you next time.